Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Behind the Story podcast. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure that when you're watching this episode, if you ever feel like at some time you should subscribe, then make sure that you subscribe, like, engage, and follow. And for those of you that, you've watched like the last two episodes of this podcast, make sure that you go back to the other episodes, watch, have fun. This is not the first guest. We always have great conversations every time. So you don't want to miss out on all of those juicy episodes. So always stay tuned, like, subscribe, share. You know what to do. So let's get right into this episode. Today I am joined by a very talented, beautiful lady. She sings, she teaches kids. I think you write your own song. Do you write as well?
Supposed to be. I'm supposed to be writing, but
Yeah,
in the
writing in the
future.
future. Yeah.
Writing in the future.
Yes, like I think she has one of the most like angelic voices I've ever heard. Like she sings very, very well. An absolute talent, an absolute beauty, and she's here to share her story about culture, love, God, and just so much to pour out. So without further ado, welcome Nisita.
Thank you, Mercy. Oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful introduction.
Thank you.
I'm so honored.
Like I
you.
always like prepare. Okay, how do I want to introduce my
Wow.
guest this
You're
time
so
around?
good at this, Mercy.
Thank
You're
you.
so good. Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. So how do you feel? How do you feel being on the podcast? Are you
Um,
nervous? Are you
well,
excited?
well, I would say this is my first actual podcast, but I've always wanted to be on one.
Mhm.
But I feel good. I feel
Mhm.
excited. I'm working on my communication because I would say that I struggle a lot with my communication. I would say that Patrick says that I think too fast before I speak.
I'm like that too, so I get it. So like I'm
I know.
like, oh, why did I say that?
Yeah, like my words, like my thought processes go way too quickly. So
Mhm.
then whatever comes out of my mouth does not sound good, or it does not sound like it makes sense as much.
Well,
So
you've been sounding great so far, so there's nothing to worry about here.
thank God, Jesus.
Yeah, so you sing very well actually. I think the very first video I saw of you online was you singing. I was like, oh, like she really sings really good. When would you say that you discovered that you could sing? Like when do you know that okay, I think I have something good going on here?
Okay, well, when I was like a little girl, like when I basically was born, my mom always said like, people come out dancing out of their womb.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I would be singing. Like even when I was a baby, I would just sing, 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 sing. I'll show you a video later, Mercy, because it's actually so funny. Like because my mom actually showed it to me 2 days ago, I think,
Mm-hmm.
when she was visiting. She's showing me so many videos. She's like, I don't understand how I didn't know like you would want to be a singer because the every time like I remember this. It's a core memory. When
Mm-hmm.
I'd get homework, right? You know, I had reading exercises.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never just read.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always sing
Mm-hmm.
everything. So if there was like the cat jumped off the bridge, I would sing that, and my mom would be like, "No, just read it properly." But at the end of the day, she couldn't
So you
complain
had
because I was
music playing in your head like
yeah.
constantly.
I always would make up songs. Like for example, Old MacDonald had a song. I would sing that song for
Mm-hmm.
2 hours straight because I'd name
Wow.
every animal. Like it,
So
like
that's how you remember things, like you
yeah.
like learn through singing and all.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
would
that's
say
so
like
good.
I didn't know I was good at singing though.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that came when I auditioned for The Next Star.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about
Yeah.
that. How did it feel? Like, was it scary? Was it like how old were you when you went on this?
I was 12.
Oh wow, that's really
So
young.
I no expectations whatsoever. I just went for fun. My parents joined me in a choir, and then a girl told me like, "Oh, I'm auditioning for The Next Star," and I'm like, "Get out!" Like I watched that show religiously, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, "Okay, why don't I try?" So I asked my parents. They're like, "No," because very conservative,
Yeah,
and that
I
was it
understand.
was considered worldly at the time, like from a Baptist point of view, because I
Mm-hmm.
grew up Baptist, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess I decided to do it because my sister convinced them. She's my older sister, and
Mm-hmm.
she gave me a leeway. She's like, "Come on, mommy and daddy, just give her a chance. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like she's probably not even gonna make it. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
like over like thousands of people auditioning." And my parents were like, "Okay, on one condition, you got to sing a gospel song." So I auditioned because I sang in Christ Alone. But that was the song that I guess touched the producers' hearts, and then I got on the show, and then that's when I realized I could sing, is because I was like moving to the next levels and the rounds, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, I can sing? Because I knew I could sing, but I
But
was
you, it
also
wasn't like,
surrounded by a
yeah.
lot of singers because I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in a school that was very arts focused. Like
Mm-hmm.
for I was a private education, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's when I realized I could sing. I'm oversharing.
Oh no, it's
I talk a
okay. Like,
lot. Patrick calls me a rodeo.
no, it's fine. Like, we want you to share even. And so,
Yeah.
like, I'm just curious to know, like, when you were auditioning, like, was there ever a time when you felt like, okay, maybe you compared yourself with other people that were contesting at the time, and then you felt like, oh, these guys, that comparison thing where it's like, oh, how did I get here? And how far did you go in the competition? Like, how was that process like? Were you ever just fidgeting constantly, or how did you go through that?
So I was, and mind you, I grew up in a private Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like we were really sheltered
Mm-hmm.
from anything regarding like anything negative. No
Yeah.
swearing, no social media, no phones in the
Mm-hmm.
school. Like it was very sheltered community. And
Mm-hmm.
as my older sister, my sister also was pouring in so much confidence in me. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say like I had no anxiety, no fear.
Wow.
I was so confident. And I think that's what the judges saw in me at the time because my personality was so open and like hey guys, I'm Nasita. Like, like I was very
Oh.
like little, right? I was a little girl. When you're a little girl, you feel like the world's at your feet. Like you feel like you can
Yeah.
do anything.
Anything.
Like you
Yeah.
dream so big with no limits because there's no information that's been deposited inside of you
Yeah.
through
You
social
have
media.
no insecurities, nothing. It just.
Exactly. And I guess throughout the process, I was fine. Like in the beginning, I never compared myself. It was when I started
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of attention on the show,
Mm-hmm.
when my music video released. I got like a little bit hate comments.
Really?
Yeah,
What are
and
they saying?
my personality was a bit too confident.
So
I
wow.
was a little bit, which I agree. Like looking back at the videos, I'm just like, girl, like why are you doing all
No,
this?
but you're supposed to be confident. I feel like, that's how it should
Yeah,
be.
I was giving like diva, like I'm the best, like because that's what my sister would say. She'd be like, Lizzie, you're the best, like you're that
Yeah.
girl. So I'd be like, yeah, like I'm the best. So like in my videos, I'd be like, hey, I'm Nasita, and what I was
Yeah.
very like very confident and I guess intense. So people would start commenting things like, oh, her personality is annoying. Oh, she's a little bit too much. Oh, why is she constantly like doing this and she's coming off cocky and as a girl, as a little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read these comments and then something happened inside of me and then that's when anxiety started forming and I called the person that was in charge of like she was like our mother at the time like during the
Mm-hmm.
show
Mm-hmm.
helping us nurturing us feeding
Mm-hmm.
us and all of that and I called her crying like I don't understand what I'm feeling. Like, what's wrong? What am I doing something wrong? And she told me, and she's like, Nasita, you have a lot of fans right now, but you have to also understand that with a lot of love is gonna come a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the balance of life.
Yeah.
And that's something if you want all the love, you have to be ready for the hate, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And she told me, don't read the comments because whatever you don't know can't touch you, right?
Yeah.
So I stopped reading the comments ever since that day. Like, and even though it was hard because I wasn't able to see the love as much,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me because at the end of the day, I wasn't able to have the capacity to read them because they genuinely were making me feel like, I don't know, like my personality is annoying because I was very sensitive, I guess you could say at
Yeah,
the
and at
time.
that
I
age,
was a little
like,
girl.
things would get to you, like you would feel like, judged and all,
Yeah.
which you shouldn't even be focusing on that, to be honest. It should be about the competition and, the talent,
Mm-hmm.
but opinions, 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 it just affects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I could say that's when the anxiety started coming. But even afterwards, I
Mm-hmm.
realized like it took me some time to read the comments again. I think after 3 years, I read them. And then
Oh.
I realized that there was so much more love than there
Love,
was
yeah.
hate,
Mm-hmm.
and all my friends, like my sister's friends and my family, were there to support, like against the hate comments and all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's normal. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the open eye, you're in the public space, people are gonna talk shit. So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm gonna
It's
swear.
okay. So,
Yeah.
how did you progress from, moving to coming from a competition to teaching kids the piano, because I know you teach kids how
Mm-hmm.
to play the piano, and I see some of your clips. It's actually very inspiring because
Yeah.
young people that probably never had an idea of music, and then all of a sudden, through teaching and practice, you discover their talent from there. So
Mm-hmm.
how did that process come about? How did you know that's something you wanted to do?
So I would say so right after the show, like
Mm-hmm.
I just went to school just like a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
I switched schools actually. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to into the public school system, so that was a hard shift, but I
Mm-hmm.
made it. And I guess when I turned 15,
Mm-hmm.
I was in grade I was in grade 8, 9. I was in a higher level at piano because I
Mm-hmm.
started lessons when I was 3.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was nearing the end of like my piano education.
Mm-hmm.
So my teacher was like, "Hey, Nisita, like teach. Like right now is the time to earn money. You're turning 16 very soon." So I did some interviews for some piano studios, and I ended up working under a music studio, and
Mm-hmm.
I had like maybe 7 students at the time when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up leaving or something. She ended up shutting down her music studio. So
Mm-hmm.
all of the students just came to my studio because I opened one up at my home.
Mm.
So this was in Barrie. And then after I transitioned from Barrie, I decided when I wanted to go to school to Ottawa, I was like, why not open one up here in Ottawa?
Mm-hmm.
So I started music school here in Ottawa. But I always knew I wanted to teach because it was the most smartest move ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of going to a job where I work like a long hours and doing minimum wage, I could do this. And it's something that I've been doing my whole life. So it would feel like I'm not using effort because it's just
Mm-hmm.
sharing what I know,
And it's your
right?
passion, right? At the same
Exactly.
time, yeah.
Piano is my passion, and I think it grew to be a passion. It was never a passion. It was more of a chore because it was forced on me. And I
Mm-hmm.
would say even teaching, I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It was more
Mm-hmm.
so like my parents were like come on, like every it's normal. Every person who is doing RCM piano, like the syllabus that I was studying under,
Mm-hmm.
normally teach
Mm-hmm.
and make money off of the like teaching other children, like beginners and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I grew to love teaching, I would say, and grew to love piano. So
Yeah, so that's how you now started like teaching kids. And how has it been like? Is it very hard, teaching kids like the piano, or is it something that, you find very easy to do? And I mean hard in terms of like them, maybe not being interested, or maybe are they interested, or is it
mm-hmm.
something that you feel like the process is just, easy or
Oh my gosh, it's an adventure.
mm-hmm.
They're funny, Mercy. My students are funny. Like it's crazy because I think it keeps the youth in me. Because
Aw.
every single time I'm teaching them, like they're always saying so crazy things. Like I asked my student the other day, I'm like, why didn't you practice this week? She's like, I didn't practice this week because I was hungry. I'm like, you're hungry the whole week? Like, is that why you couldn't touch the piano? Or like they just have like such cute responses all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and it's so cute because I personally love teaching, and I think it's just because I can see the way their upbringing, each child's upbringing is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the way that they act in terms of a song that I give them a challenge. So if something's hard, the way that they react is what the way that they're going to react most likely in a challenge in their future. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? So it's kind of fun, like trying to help navigate them through the issue, because I know like whatever we're doing in piano is not just for music, it's also for like issues in their future. So let's
Mm-hmm.
just say if they have a hard test or they have a hard relationship, they'll
Mm-hmm.
know not to give up, because
Yeah.
you'll see that students who are very like who have a different upbringing or whatever, they just want to give up, like
Mm-hmm.
simply, or what they look at, right? Whatever they copy, they just want to say, no, I don't want to do this. But you can tell they will do that for everything in their life. So I'm just like, okay, but if you choose to give up now, like, remember, like, is that what you want to be? A person
Mm-hmm.
that just gives up all the time, you know? And I don't know, it's cool because you get to teach them so much, like life skills, like
Mm-hmm.
time management. Every
Mm-hmm.
single time they say, oh, I didn't practice, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, but what about like somebody that's in full-time school who's in university who's doing piano lessons?
Mm-hmm.
How does she get time to practice? Oh, she has a kid as well. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are little and you can't have the time to practice,
Yeah.
like how is this person able to practice? And I
Mm-hmm.
say simple time management. And I tell
Yeah.
them, if you learn time management when you're little, you're gonna
Yeah.
be a superhero when you get older. And then that's when they're like, okay,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try being better at time management, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice because whatever I wish was poured into me,
You're
I
pouring
get
it
to
to
pour
them.
into the advice that I wish I got. I get to pour them into,
Mm.
like they're like my little sisters or little brothers. And it's
Mm.
teaching me patience because one thing this girl lacks is patience. So God definitely humbled me in that aspect to be patient because they take forever. Like play this, and then they take so long to get on their chair, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, just sit down. And then like, or I'll finally get them to be on their hands on the keys, and then it takes them like at least 10 minutes. They
Mm-hmm.
play 3 notes, and then they're like, oh, jelly bean, and then they go and
Yeah.
leave, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do this for another 10 minutes.
I also know that you've been in Canada for like you grew up here basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I was born here.
oh yeah,
Yes,
you were
I
born
was
here.
born in
That's really
Scarves.
nice. Yeah. So how was it like growing up in Canada? I also know that you're from India,
Mm-hmm.
and how was that experience like growing up in Canada? Did you ever feel like, as someone who's of color, who's from India, did you feel like there were stereotypes, growing up, or did you feel like people were, mean or micro showed microaggression, in any sort of way because, because of tribe or, color or stuff like that? How was that like growing up here? I know people say Canadians, they're not racist or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, but do you agree with that, or is your experience different?
Mm, I mean, I'm not sure if I would say, like, I don't want to say Canadians are racist at all, but I
Mm-hmm.
think racism can show um, without you even knowing it, that you're
Mm-hmm.
even doing racism. Is that even a word? But you
Yeah, I
can't,
get it.
I don't think you'll always be able to tell if it's
Mm-hmm.
something is racist or not,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but I think growing up, I grew up in a city called Barrie, Mercy,
Mm-hmm.
and this city was a fully Caucasian city.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry, I was just looking around. But it's a fully Caucasian city. So there's no, I was the only person of color, you could say, in most of the
Wow.
rooms that I grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
every classroom. And I think it was a bit difficult because I stood out so much.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say the more visible you are, the more like people will kind of notice you more, and like also you're
Mm-hmm.
magnified. So every mistake you do, let's just
Mm-hmm.
say, is noticed. For example, I'd wear shoes, right? I would go went to a Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
I had, let's just say, brown shoes on, but the dress code was only black shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But I always stood out. It was always me that was sent to the principal's office to change, even though there
Wow.
were so
So
many
many
other
other people.
students that had, let's just say, brown shoes. Or not even, I had brown shoes. They would have like pink shoes sometimes and green shoes. And at one point, I talked back to one of my teachers because I'm just like, why aren't you sending her? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you sending all these people?
Mm-hmm.
And oh, shouldn't have done that because I got in so much trouble. But it was hard because you're always being picked on,
Mm.
and I would say, like, yeah, like I was very fortunate because I was not alone while I was getting. I had my two best friends who were also the same color as me, and for 1 year we didn't go to the same school, so it was really hard. I felt so alone all the time because um I don't know, it was like I always felt like everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying this is what it was, but I guess there was that feeling of insecurity inside of me,
Loneliness
feeling
also.
like, yeah, loneliness, like feeling like people just thought I was stupid or
Mm-hmm.
something. I didn't feel, I felt like they didn't really take me as serious,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because of my culture. We're very sheltered, and the innocence shows up. So it sometimes um, kind of blinds a perspective into you feeling like you're a little blonde at times, right?
Mm.
Because you don't know so much. Because in Indian culture, we don't really talk about, I don't know, um, sex,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at schools, you'll see them talk so much about it,
Mm-hmm.
And me, I'd always just be like, so I don't want to talk about it. I just want to like
Mm.
run away from it. But then that would be considered like people would make fun of that, like, oh, like why aren't you talking? Or I wouldn't swear or something like
Mm.
that because
Mm-hmm.
again, very conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that was like very difficult for me to adjust to, because I'm just like, why am I so different, you know? But at the and because I was so different, it's like I don't think I felt like I wasn't being taken seriously. It was
Mm,
like I'd be somebody that they would find just funny, you know?
mm,
Like, oh my gosh, she doesn't know what this word means. Oh my god, she doesn't know what,
mm.
and it's all vulgar words. And I'm like, no, I don't, like, I'm 13. Okay. I'm 14. Like, I don't know these things. You know, and I think when I moved in with my, like, moved to a new school, right? Because
Mhm,
I moved with my two best friends. I think that's when everything changed because I had confidence. I had someone that was the same color as me,
mhm,
um, and we stuck together
mhm,
and try to make friends together. So it
mhm,
was like I wasn't alone, right? And
mhm,
I think, and I don't think people did it intentionally, right? Because it's it's not something that people do intentionally, but I do know as Indians sometimes we're very like quiet, right?
mhm.
We don't really talk as much or speak up, right? So I'm not saying I'm blaming like us in a way, but there is accountability that has to be taken sometimes.
And it's like if you had more people that looked like you, maybe you would have felt like some sense of like, okay, I have my people here.
Oh
But
yeah.
because it was just like the ratio was really like large and stuff,
Mhm.
so that could have also affected how you know you felt in general. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And then also I think one thing I also wanted to bring up was also how you felt, you know, because people, like you said, you're from India, and then there's also a lot of conversations happening about how there's a lot of Indians, you know, present in Canada, and they're
Mhm.
dominating different, you know, sectors of the economy. And
Mhm.
some people feel some type of way about that. They feel like, oh, as Canadians or people, other people, like,
Mhm.
oh, you know, we don't have, you know, we don't have as much access, you know, as the Indians do. So how was that? Like, did you ever? How did you feel like about people saying those things? You like, what do you think about those types of opinions? And you know, were you ever like, you know, shown some sort of, you know, I would say hate because of that, you know, because people be like, oh yeah, you're also from there, and then you know try to bring so much hate. So
Mhm.
like, did you actually have to like experience that? And also, what do you think about people that share those type of opinions?
Okay. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, even me as I'm talking, I'm like, okay.
No, it's a lot, but I think there's so much to unpack here for sure. But I would say like I'd say like I I don't blame people, the people that have the issues, right?
Mm,
With there being such a huge concentration of Indians all of a sudden, right? But I also I can definitely empathize like with everybody, right? But I think what people sometimes can fail to understand is like Indians didn't just randomly just come to in like Canada or see just
mhm,
randomly like that on their own.
mhm,
Canada does so much to actively um, invite them. And when I say
mhm,
invite them, I mean literally invite them here
mhm.
because Canada thrives off immigrants. Because
Exactly.
without immigrants, it's they wouldn't be able to pay for the economy or the taxes or anything. And I'll tell you why, because the way Canada sells life here to
Mhm,
Indians, which
mhm,
is even why Indians are flooding, because you have to ask the question, why are they coming here? What are they seeing here?
mhm,
Right? And if you notice, Canada's really good at making life here so beautiful. You
mm,
know, it's like, and one thing that as an Indian, right, I know this because in being on the inside is one thing Indians value is education and a
mhm,
beautiful life and a strong sense of family, right? So if Canada's saying like, hey, come here, good education, you'll get a good job, you'll be able to build a life for your family here. That's all things for Indians that's like, hey, I'm sold. You know,
mhm,
because at the end of the day, foreign, something going out in the foreign is considered like, oh, you made it in life
mhm.
to an Indian or to anybody who's like
Another country
from
as
another
well.
country. Like
Mhm,
Canada, America is considered that life, that dream life that you want to be in, right? But I think what people also don't understand too is these people come all the way thinking that it is that, and then end up having to take jobs that are so like um, not paying enough. And yes, you see them everywhere, right? But we also have to ask that question sometimes: is are they even being paid right? You know,
mhm,
because as an Indian, they don't have a support system here. they're all by themselves, right? They're left their family, they don't have a safety net financially or whatever. So when they come here as an immigrant, you have a sense of loneliness, right? And you're trying to build a community as well. But then you're also having the struggles of people also oppressing you because you're taking all the jobs or whatever. All those jobs that they're taking are all night shift jobs, and jobs that are so hard, like hard work. There's a lot of hard work that you got to do. And that's what they were saying is Indians, they're very desperate to make it in life. So you'll see a lot of persistency when it comes to even wanting to get a job. Um, and I think it's sad because people are gonna naturally want to blame whatever is visible to them, right? As human beings, when we lack security, our first instinct is to blame what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is so many Indians, is what we can see. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, are we are is it the Indians we should blame, or is it the system that actually failed both of us? Because the system has like system is crazy.
Yeah.
The system fails everybody.
Yeah.
In terms of our jobs, in terms of wage increases and all of that. Immigration has policies for people who can speak English, who are educated, and who are able to have skills,
Yeah.
right? And Indians have fallen the line for those criterias.
Exactly.
Because one thing in India is education is nobody plays with that. Everybody is trying to get their masters or PhDs or whatever. And everybody's trying to get a skill, a life skill or whatever. But I can empathize though with everybody else, like in Canada though, how it's frustrating because they feel like they're they're taking their land, or whatever. I don't think that's their intention, right? That's the main thing. I don't think it's their intention whatsoever. But um,
Yeah.
I just feel like we're both being failed by the same system.
So, speaking of India, you recently visited India. Was that your first time?
No,
Okay,
it
so
wasn't.
how did it feel like, going back? Were there like favorite places that you always like to try when you visit? Is there favorite foods, that you could recommend?
Oh my gosh, India's beautiful. I know people be seeing like a bunch of TikTok videos of how dirty it is and everything. Okay, but there's beauty to everything. Okay, and there's so much beauty to India. Like I told myself, like I just want to move there for just 2 years, maybe, just enjoy the culture. But I went recently, actually last year,
Yeah, I saw that.
in March, and it was beautiful. I got to see my cousins, my grandma, my family, and they moved to a beautiful new flat as well. So, and it was nice because my cousins grew up, so I got to see India on a more adult level, right? Because when I went back, I was probably 15, so again, I was still under my parents, so I wasn't able to go out by myself in India. And my little cousin, my baby cousin, she's a psychologist, a forensic psychologist, and she took me on her motorcycle to her college, and it was such an elite experience because like it was like so thrilling, and I'm like, wow, this is a roller coaster. People in Canada would pay for this roller coaster experience. And oh, it was such a great experience. I got to see her college, and um yeah, India's beautiful. Food there, crazy. That's another topic, but
Is the food there better than the Indian food here?
I
I
told
was.
myself on the year that I become pregnant, okay, when that happens, not now. When that
That
happens,
happens, yeah.
I want to go to India to satisfy every craving that I have, because I just know I'm going to be craving authentic Indian
Indian
food.
food, yeah.
And everything tastes better to me in India. Like even ice cream, so good in India. Tea, so good in India.
Yeah, tea. I
Chicken,
heard tea is very good there.
so good.
The
Masala tea.
spices.
And I think it's just because in India it's more like the spices are more authentic, you can really taste like, and it's crazy because people from India that come to visit in Canada, they'll always say something's missing in the food.
Yeah, it can never be the same.
Which is true, because when I go home, I'm just like, So good. I ate so much when I was in India. It was
Oh,
great.
that's really nice. That's really
Yeah.
nice. Well, before you leave us,
Mm-hmm.
I would like for you to sing for us. Yeah.
Mercy,
Sorry to put you on the spot,
you're
but
putting me on the spot here.
yeah, but I'm sure my audience would like to hear some really nice music. There's this song you sang recently. It's actually a Nigerian song where Rahama. That was
Rahama,
yeah, I loved it. It was so good. It was so good. So I
you're
was just
putting me on
like,
the
my
spot.
audience, they need to hear this. So if you would do us the honors, could you sing that
Rahama.
song? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. Okay. Acapella?
Yeah, anyone you want to do at this point.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Mercy. I don't like you. Okay. Let me just drink some water.
Yeah. Voice warm up.
Mhm. I'll go lower so it's quieter.
Okay.
Lord, Lord, my God, all that I want is your touch. My faith is heightened on this mountain to drink from your love. Oh, yes, merahama dadu. See, I use the lyrics. I use the lyrics.
That's fine. Like,
I use the
that's more than
lyrics.
enough for my audience. I'm sure they are entertained. Wow,
Oh my
guys,
gosh.
so beautiful.
Mercy, please do not post that. Oh my
Guys, check out Nisida on
god.
Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. She's such an amazing singer, and her voice is really beautiful. But yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. Subscribe to my channel. You know what to do.
I don't have a channel yet, but I do have a business, Psalmist 5 Studio. So if anybody's looking for piano lessons in the Barhaven area, um, um, or Maryville area, Napian
Mhm.
area, we serve the Napian and Barhaven area. We would love to have you. We teach children from all over the ages. We also teach worship, gospel, everything that you may need, and vocal as well. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically it.
check them
And
out.
you can see me on TikTok too. I post some covers there. So
Okay, nice.
yeah.
We love it. We love it. Thank you so much for
Hmm.
coming and,
Thank you,
just making our
Mercy.
time for this. We'll see you guys on another episode. Bye for
Hmm.
now.
Bye.
Wow, that was so good.
Was
Like, wow,
it?
you really
Okay.
did well. You really, really did well.
Really, Mercy? Can I
Yes, it
see
was
a
good.
little?